G'day, kia ora, and welcome to the Cricketers Network for another week. And we're not at Eden Park this week. I'm at my house in my office, I guess. It's just that room in the house where everything that's not allowed in the rest of the house goes. So I'm very loath to call it a man cave because it just isn't that. It's just where I keep things, including myself, and where I record episodes of the Cricketers Network sometimes, particularly when we've got people beaming in from across the world. Of course, the New Zealand cricket diaspora is widespread, and I think we really get to the crux of that today with our couple of guests. I'll get to them in just a second, just to update you as to where we're at in the cricketing world right now, well, particularly from a New Zealand's perspective. As always, the New Zealand men are playing a test, the third in the series at Trent Bridge in Nottingham. This is the end of day one I'm coming to you from, and Tom Latham and Devon Conway have put on a 317-run opening stand. They won the toss, they elected to bat, and, well, did they make hay? They certainly made hay. Apparently, no team has ever lost a test match having scored more than 280 runs for an opening stand when batting first. So, have I jinxed it? I may have jinxed it. I hope not. Incredible 150 for each of those two players who haven't had the best tour in terms of runs. So timely runs. 4 cheap wickets at the end of the day, unfortunately, which leaves the Black Caps 360 odd for 4. And the New Zealand women's team, the White Ferns, they've had a couple of wins. So started the World Cup with a couple of losses, unfortunately, to the West Indies and Sri Lanka. Couple of upsets, you would have to say, and then they have beaten Ireland and Scotland. They beat Ireland just. It was a marvelous performance from Susie Bates, Cricketers Network co-host Susie Bates, came on for the in the batting innings, smashed a few around, 6 off the last ball, which proved crucial because she then bowled the last ball of the game, the last over rather of the game, to win the game for the White Ferns. So they beat Ireland, then they comprehensively beat Scotland. And so where we're at now is we have to beat England, who are currently unbeaten. And even if we do beat the unbeaten England side, we also have to have the West Indies lose to Ireland. And I believe if Sri Lanka win their final game as well, that would put them on the same points as us. And so then it would come down to net run rate. So it's a long shot to make the semis. It's a kind of a brutal format. You know, it's just everybody pays everyone in 2 groups and then just the top 2 go through. So it's a brutal format for that Women's World Cup, but that's what it is. And yeah, those first 2 losses starting to hit home and hit hard, unfortunately, at the back end of the tournament. So we wish them well. And look, taking a win off England at home in a World Cup like this would be pretty great anyway. So our 2 guests today, one is actually in the United Kingdom. He's a Wellington player. He's a Dutch player, plays for the Netherlands. But he's also plays for Yorkshire in the county championship, and has been doing a little bit of broadcasting as well. So Logan Van Beek, who, if you know Logan, or if you've ever met him, you know he is an absolute human dynamo. He lives his best life, and he's all over the world at the moment, playing cricket, doing broadcasting, making content, and just genuinely being a bit of a cricketing legend. So we're going to talk to him first. And well, it doesn't get any worse in terms of cricketing legends, because then we've got Ross Taylor, only Ross Taylor, from his hotel room in San Francisco, because he is part of the Seattle Orcas setup in the Major League Cricket. He is an ambassador, I believe, is the term or the role that he's been given. I don't really know what that is. I try and get him to explain what it is, and it seems quite broad. It seems from everything from, you know, doing official kind of events and talking to getting snacks for the players. So it really is It really is quite a role, but what an honor and a privilege it is to have one of the greats of the game just on our little podcast here, Mr. Ross Taylor. So he is joining us as well. So there's nothing much else to say other than let's get on with the interviews, and I'm going to throw to that right now. So first you'll hear Logan, or you'll see him, and then we'll cross straight to Ross Taylor. So here we go. Well, look out. It's almost like we have a reporter on the ground that we've organised, weeks in advance. But no, I just hit up Logan Van Beek on WhatsApp about 10 minutes ago, and he said, yep, ready to go, bro, whenever you are. And Logan, where have we got you?
So I'll just do a quick pan of the ground. I'm in Bristol right now. So here's a wee pan of the ground. The game against Netherlands and South Africa has just wrapped. Now I'll just point over here. There's all the Dutch fans. The Dutch army was in full force this afternoon. So we started in the middle of town of Bristol. It's about 36 degrees here today in the UK, and it was 3 o'clock kickoff. And we went to about 2 or 3 pubs on the way. And I'm not sure if you would have seen the footage of the Netherlands and America and that Dutch army behind the bus. And they've got that famous song where it goes links, rechts, which is left, right. And they're doing these chants. And so we try to bring that flair to Bristol for the Women's World Cup. And it was brilliant. It was just a massive pub crawl for 3 hours. And we then had 3 hours of cricket to watch. It was South Africa dominated, but it was a lot of fun in the stands.
Yeah, I guess that is a clash it's almost like a local derby, isn't it? The Dutch versus the South Africans, because of the shared history, right? So there would have been some real feeling in this match.
Yeah, I did a few kind of media opportunities beforehand. And one of the lines was, in 2022, we bet them in Adelaide. In 2023, we bet them in Dharamshala. And so, the Netherlands, we like playing South Africa in World Cups. We were close to beating them in New York. And so, my thing was like, the Dutch, they love South Africa. They love beating South Africa. So unfortunately today wasn't the case, but it was a lovely day, and it's actually quite nice now that it's gone into evening time because it's at least bearable weather-wise.
Yeah, I've just come from the UK. I was there for 2.5 weeks. It rained every single day. There was a heat wave just before I arrived and just after I left. So, frankly, I don't believe you that it's hot.
Well, today we're walking through town. My wife and my daughter. She's only about 3 months old, and my wife turns to me and she goes, "What creates a heat wave?" And it was stinking hot at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to scratch my head. I'm like, hey, what do they say in science? Or like, have I seen a weather report where they explained it? I had no answer for it. I tried to say something about the ozone or something about wind patterns. And then in the end, I said, look, I actually don't have a clue what's happening here. But UK is not set up for hot weather. Like, there was restaurants closed, schools were off. Everyone's just dying. There's people behind the stands today trying to, cool off. There was downstairs, there was like a cold room, and that was packed of people just kind of, they couldn't handle it. But yeah, it's been warm, and I think it's going to be warm for the next few days as well.
Yeah, so you're right. The UK isn't set up for coldness because it doesn't. Sorry, for warmth, because it doesn't have air conditioning everywhere like most places do. I always maintain that the hottest I've ever been was in a hotel room in Dunedin because it was a heat wave in New Zealand, and obviously no one has air conditioning in Dunedin. But look, it sounds like you're just having fun, but you are actually there in a professional capacity, aren't you?
Mm. Yeah, well, exactly. It is. It's been a bit weird the last kind of week. So rewind a little bit. I signed for Yorkshire for 3 months to play 8 4-day games, and available for the Blast, the T20 Blast. And so 2 weeks ago, I spoke to the coach, and I said, well, what's happening in the next couple of weeks? Am I involved for these next 2 4-day games? Mm-hmm. Because at the moment we've got 3 overseas, and you can only play 2 overseas.
Right.
And he said, look, sorry, Logan, you're not going to be in the next team squad, and then maybe unlikely for the following week. I said, okay, all good, no worries. But the Dutch are playing in Canada for in World Cricket League 2. They're playing a tri-series against Canada and the US. I said, well, look, there's Dutch, the Netherlands are playing ODI cricket. Can I go to Canada and play that? And he's like, oh, we want you to play cricket, so happy days. So the next day I flew to Toronto. I landed, played the following day. Unfortunately, lost to Canada. The next day I went to the RBC Canadian Open where I watched Ryan Fox. We followed him for the whole 18 holes. The following day we went to a Yankees Blue Jays game. We were down in the dugout watching their warm-ups. That was a brilliant game. I think it was like 6-4 home runs, you name it. The next game got rained off. The World Cup started in Toronto, so we went to the World Cup fan zone, and it was just ridiculous. Toronto was going nuts. The following day, we play our last game. The game gets called off after 4 overs because of dangerous pitch. So I flew to Canada, and then flew back to the UK. I literally Ubered from the airport to Headingley Cricket Ground where the Netherlands were playing India. I tried to get in, but I didn't have my accreditation because I was going to do some work experience with the commentators.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So they said that we'll come back the next day and hopefully we can get you in. So I came the next day. It was West Indies versus Scotland. And as I was walking towards the commentator's room, I walked past ICC TV, and throughout the last kind of 4 or 5 years or 6 or so years, during the World Cups that I've been to, every time ICC TV want to do something, inevitably I want to dance or I'll do something kind of just to entertain them. Whether it's dancing on Miami Beach, whether it's dancing in Dharamshala,
Yeah.
most of the time it's something to do with dancing. And they said, Logs, we need someone on the ground to do some content. And I said, yeah, no worries. There we go. We'll just get Smitty. There's Ian Smith. Just
Oh yeah, there he
he's
is.
a bit hot. There he is.
The figure of Ian Smith in shorts. Yes.
No, that's pants.
Oh, that is pants.
But he's about to do a. No, he's walking off. He's had enough.
Yeah,
he's done there. And so yeah, they said create some content, which went quite well. So then, look, we want you down in Bristol. Again, I had to speak to the Yorkshire coach. I said, look, am I involved with the T20 Blast this weekend? He said, no, we're going to go with the 2 other overseas. I said, all right, all good. Can I come down to Bristol and do some more things for ICC? And they said, yep, happy days. And so yeah, so yesterday I did a bit of a content thing with the Dutch girls, their training. Today we did the Dutch march, like I said, where we started from town and came to the ground. And then there's another game on Saturday morning, so I'll do some more things there.
Nice.
And we're just kind of going with the flow, really, and yeah, just going with the wind.
So what's been amazing to me about this World Cup is, there's obviously the biggest sporting event on the planet happening in America, but and there's also a huge test series with the men happening.
Oh, come on. How good was today? Today was, I watched the first session and a half and seeing Devon and Tommy. I don't think Tommy scored 100 in the UK before, but I was just so proud of those guys. And it was just it was so sweet watching even that first hour. I think they were 60 for none, but it was just so sweet watching them suffer in the heat because it was hot. It was really hot. And you're watching Devon at his best, you're watching Tommy at his best, and it was just beautiful to watch. And then I kind of got caught up a little bit here with the content and the Dutch and yada yada yada. And I checked the score, and they were 300 for none. And it was just Christmas, absolute Christmas.
Great watching your Wellington teammate there, I bet. But my point is that all this is happening, but they seem to be getting really good cut through with the Women's World Cup. Like the stands are pretty full. Like the games are great, obviously they always are. But the English public are really getting into it, which is awesome.
They are. I think it's been a building for the last few years in terms of women's cricket, the popularity, the money that's going behind the game. the buy-in from sponsors, from the ICC, from the cricketing boards, it's kind of culminating into this tournament right now where you're seeing the crowds come in. The weather's been great, so the games have been played.
Sure.
The support that the Dutch women in particular have been having has been amazing. There's plenty of South African fans here as well, so it's turning into, and it's building to a great climax in terms of we don't really know who's going to make the semis at this stage. There's a few big games coming up, but it's actually really fun. Like, it's been really fun week just being involved, and because a lot of time I'm so much in my own head around my game and who I'm playing for, that very much in that time doing scouting and playing and all that jazz, where it's actually quite nice to be on the other side of the rope and just actually enjoy the cricket and trying to create some content, some stories about the girls' game, because it's a lot of fun. And I've had a great week so far.
Yeah, so obviously you're a bit more attached to the Dutch team at the moment, but I assume they're your second team at least, is the White Ferns. It hasn't necessarily gone to plan. Definitely a couple of good comeback games so far. What do you reckon went wrong in those first couple of games?
It's one of those things. I feel like the top 6 teams in women's cricket or maybe the top 5 teams, are very similar, skilled. Like, there's a little bit of difference. Australia are really good.
Yeah.
India coming up really nicely. It's actually it's hard to pick. And so sometimes when it comes to these games, especially T20 as well, you just have someone have a day out, or you drop a couple catches at crucial times.
Yeah.
And the game can swing just like that. And so I think that's just the nature of it. That first game probably caught us on the hop a little bit. And then it's so hard when you lose your first game against a key opposition. You're now going into the hope category where you're hoping other games are going to fall your way. But when your destiny's out of your hands, it's quite hard from that point of view. So yeah, that first game obviously was disappointing. But I think that's just the nature of the women's game. The top 5 teams, top 6 teams, you don't really know who's going to win the game.
Yeah, I think that is, and obviously the nature of T20 cricket makes it even closer. And you see Ireland pushing us the other night, and fortunately, Susie Bates, who just needs to apparently play 1 over of each innings to make a
Was
difference.
that pace or off spin? I couldn't work out which. She went off spin a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and this was like around the wicket.
she calls them
Yeah.
cutters, I think. Oh, like what does she call sliders? That's what she calls them, sliders.
Okay, cool. Whatever it is, it's working. But it's quite amazing how she's just this last over specialist. I love it. Of course, it's very Susie Bates.
It is very Susie Bates. I mean, you almost put yourself in that category sometimes, don't you? You often bowl the last over of a T20 game. Is that much fun, or do you relish that kind of challenge?
I wouldn't say it's fun, but you want to, like, for me, it's like I rather fail in that moment and be in that moment and actually attempt it than be on the boundary watching someone else do it. So in a funny way, as much as it's been heartbreaking at times, and I've had some games which haven't gone my way and it's tough, I can still go to sleep that night going, well, at least I worked hard enough that the captain gave me the ball in that moment and I tried my best. And so that's how I've always tried to play my cricket, is I rather fail attempting it than regret not running past the captain and saying, hey, give me the ball, or not put myself in that position to do it. So yeah, it's kind of how I've played my cricket, and it's how I will continue to play my cricket. Is the more times I can put myself in that position to be in the last over, whether it be bat or ball, like, at least I've got opportunity to do something special. It just means that unfortunately it comes with a little bit of heartbreak.
Yeah, it can do, can't it? I want to talk a little bit about Yorkshire. That's such a big county. I mean, in terms of geographically, but just one of the powerhouses of English cricket. You must have been stoked to be contracted to them, but it does come with the rub, doesn't it? That they've got quite a lot of money, so they can bring in a lot of overseas players, and then you might not get as much game time as you would if you'd have played for a lesser county, right? That's kind of the catch-22.
Yeah, double-edged sword. You're exactly right. Like I've played now Derbyshire, Worcester, Leicester. So I've been in the Midlands for the last 3 or 4 years, and last year for Leicester was a fantastic season. We won the Division 2, got promoted. It wasn't a bad season in the Blast. We were pretty good, but I played every single game, and I was bowling every day, and I was just hanging out for a break. But I got to August 1st, I survived it, and it was a lot of fun. And then it was really cool to sign for Yorkshire, and I was super excited to go to a bigger club. And even day one, turning up to Headingley Stadium and going, wow, okay, this is my workplace for the next week while. And like one of the first things, the difference was when I walked into the change room, there was a team room, and in the team room there was a fully stocked breakfast bar, 2 coffee machines, there was a PlayStation, there was couches, there was TV. And I said, well, what's this area? And they said, oh, this is just the players area. And so guys will turn up at 8 a.m. They will make breakfast, they'll play some PlayStation, they'll hang out, make some coffees. And I'm like, this is what do you mean? Like this, do we have to pay for this? And they're like, no, this is just part of the gig. And then you move through into the changing room. You can leave your gear there. They've got amazing indoor center. You train on the ground. The gyms are made like everything facilities wise is like top tier, which is awesome. And so even if you're not playing, you're still getting the training and everything that you want to get done. And so, but again, like I said, if you almost have to hit the ground running with playing for a club like Yorkshire, is that you want to come in, perform well early. And what often happens when you go to a new team, whether it be Yorkshire, whether it be, a club, overseas pro for a club, which a lot of Kiwis do, like if you start really well, because they haven't really seen you play before, if you start well, often, the chairman of the club or the supporters, they're like, oh, he's a good cricketer, he's great, like let's keep him in. But if you start poorly, you kind of having to like chase your tail a little bit. And I'll be the first one to admit, I probably didn't start as well as I'd like. But it is what it is. And my main thing is just like, I'm still going to keep my training regime, my effort, my attitude, top tier. And when my next opportunity comes, I'm going to be ready. I'm not going to, although I'm here with the Women's World Cup doing a few content things, I still bowled 15, 16 overs at the start of the week to be ready if something was to happen this weekend, that I'm ready to go. And as well for me, like I'm lucky that I play for the Dutch, is that I've always got cricket to go to. So when I finish with Yorkshire, there's another tri-series against Nepal and Namibia in the Netherlands. So I'll fly to the Netherlands, play the tri-series, and then I've got a couple of weeks off. We might go on a little holiday, and then the ETPL league is starting. The Euro League is starting,
Yes,
and
it
I'm playing.
is.
And so I'm there signed with the Rotterdam Dockers,
Right.
and so that's August, September, and then fly back to Wellington and get back with the lads and start the New Zealand season. So for me, because the last 6 years I've played all year round, I've always got cricket to go to. So I'm going to keep doing that until the wheels fall off. And I really enjoy it.
What a life. It's a pretty great life, isn't it, Logan? Particularly if you can take your family with you, I suppose. That's a big one. Will they come to? Will they be there still when you're playing the European League?
Yes. So my wife works online, so all she needs is a Wi-Fi passcode, a gym, and a supermarket, and she's happy as Larry.
Great.
And now we've got a 3-month-old baby, so that's added a little bit of a spanner to the works. So the freedom in terms of going out or going out for meals is a little bit different. But so far, she's been an absolute dream. So we're still being able to kind of take her everywhere. But we're gonna maintain this lifestyle for as long as possible, and until I have to kind of work out what I'm going to do next. There's no slowing down.
So what is next? I'll let you go, but what is next for you? You're obviously on standby for Yorkshire. But do the Dutch have any more games?
Yes. So the Netherlands play Pakistan on Saturday morning at
Great.
10:30, which I think it's going to be, if there's one game that we could win in this World Cup, it's against Pakistan. So I'm looking forward to that game on Saturday morning. The Dutch fans are looking forward to that. So yeah, I'll be here for the rest of the week. There might be a few more videos kind of popping up off my socials.
Great.
And so, and yeah, and then fingers crossed, maybe there might be a few more, or they might ask me to stay on. And if I can catch a New Zealand game, that would be really cool to collaborate with the White Ferns there.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I'm just going with the flow. If Yorkshire need me, I'm there. If the ICC TV need me, I'm there. If Ben Hurley needs me for a podcast, I'm there.
Yes. In 5
So
minutes.
in 5 minutes, exactly. Surely that's a record. But no, it's just really fun. It's really fun to if one door closes slightly, you just look for the next opportunity and just jump into it, full noise.
Mate, you're a legend, and you've given me a zest for life today that I didn't think I'd have at 9:15 in the morning, but I feel like I want to go out and grab the world by the balls today.
Well, I can see that drum kick behind you, so maybe
Yeah.
to start with a bit of a jam.
That,
And if you've got a basic guitar, slap the bass for a little bit, and then start your day. Make the most of it.
it's inspiring, and it's great to see you. And thank you very much for chatting to us, Logan Van Beek. We'll see you soon, and safe travels.
Thank you, Ben. Absolute pleasure, mate. Go well.
Cheers, brother. Now, if you are somewhere out there who has a company or involved with a large company who'd like to come on board as a supporter of the Cricketers Network, please slip into our DMs and your ad could be right here and be broadcast to thousands. All right, coming to us from, well, I'm going to let him tell you where he's coming to us from, because it's not where you might think. It's just one of the greats, Ross Taylor. Roscoe, where are you?
I'm in San Francisco at the moment. Not here for the Football World Cup, unfortunately, but here for cricket, MLC. It's my 4th year with the Seattle Walkers. And this year we've got a couple of Kiwis in our team. We've got Tim Seifert and Tim Robinson. So it's nice to have a Kiwi contingent here.
Yeah, I did notice that there was a couple of Kiwis playing for that particular franchise, but what's your role with the team?
I'm ambassador for them. I've coached the first couple of years for the team, and then this year, the last couple of years, doing ambassador stuff and some cricket operations for Seattle. So no, it's a great team to be a part of, and we're owned by Daily Capital's franchise own a percentage of us, but the rest of our owners are ex-Microsoft executives and the current CEO, Satya Nadella. So no, it's a great team to be a part of.
Now, ambassador, can you tell us more about that role? What does that really mean? Because there's a smirk on your face when you say it. Is it ceremonial? Are you sort of more like a king than anything else?
Well, I think there's a big Southeast Asian population over here. A lot of companies have that sponsor the Seattle team, and other franchises here at MLC are owned by Indians that love cricket. So it's nice to, I guess, they come in, they buy hospitality packages, and good to, I guess, chew the fat and talk about obviously their business, but also the game of cricket.
Yeah. I mean, what I know, America's kind of the final frontier for cricket, isn't it? Like they really are loading in and trying to tap into that massive market and the large Southeast Asian diaspora that is there. Is it growing year on year? What is this? The 3rd year, something like that?
Yeah, this is the 4th year. I think they have ambitions to get 1% of the US sports market, which is valued at $500 billion, which is still significant. And football probably took 20, 25 years to get that 1%, with Messi and Beckham and co, in the last little while. So they're trying to get there a little bit earlier in 15 years. But no, it is a slow burn. But I think once the things are put in place, the next generation of players coming through the system, and trying to tap into those schools and universities is probably how they'll get there, hopefully a little bit quicker than football or soccer, as we call.
Yeah, that's right. So I actually heard yesterday that football in America, or soccer as they call it in America, is now number 3. It just overtook baseball as the number 3 sport in the country, which is
Wow.
insane. But it just shows, that a long-term strategy with a sport can really pay off, right?
Yeah, I mean, you had Pele come beforehand, Beckham tapped in, but obviously Messi, and then we're seeing him, how successful he's been in the World Cup so far. But no, I didn't know that. I mean, because baseball is obviously pretty big,
Pretty big.
and something that a lot of our black cap players used to follow, and they had their own fantasy team that they'll talk about a lot. Talk about these players that I'd have no idea. You know the superstars, but the Franklins and Vittoris and Bonds and Stars, they just they seem to know what was going on.
Yeah, they were nuts for a day. I remember hearing an interview with Jacob Oram once, and the interviewer asked him, like, apart from cricket, what's your favorite sport? And he went, oh, including cricket, it's baseball.
I suppose cricket has a lot of downtime, and then American sports are on at at a good time in New Zealand. ESPN is obviously probably where a lot of our team, whether it's NFL, NBA, and baseball, where a lot of the guys can waste a bit of their time.
Yeah, I mean, baseball has that thing, right? That like cricket, it does have changing between innings and stuff, and the Americans really know how to fill that space in a broadcast with advertising and whatever. Is the MLC sort of heading that way? I feel like cricket, there's more opportunities for that we don't really take.
Yeah, I suppose you. Yeah, I suppose you got all you see in the Football World Cup, the old drinks break. That's just an ad break, isn't it?
They stole that from us, that was our thing.
Yeah, this is like a strategic timeout. But
Yeah.
that's the other thing. So this tournament is no different to the IPL. There's 2 strategic timeouts, 2.5 minutes. But that's where the MLC, can generate a lot of their revenue through advertising, because at the grounds, they're still probably half full. We're playing at the here in San Francisco. We're playing at the old Oakland Coliseum. So I mean, it's 65,000 seat stadium. Looks pretty empty when there's 4,000 or 5,000 people at them.
Yeah.
But no, it's it is growing slowly. But watch the space in the next hopefully in the next 10 15 years. But then also New Zealand cricket as well. I mean, I think they've got rights to one of the teams. So a few of the New Zealand personnel we saw at the airport that are over here. So hopefully there's a New Zealand cricket flavour to be part of the MLC, because like New South Wales are part of one team, and then Cricket Victoria are part of another team. So in a couple of years' time, I think there's 2 more teams that are coming into the competition, and I think New Zealand cricket will be running them. One of them.
Right. Okay. Wow. I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. Seattle Orcas, I think you've got a pretty good brand there. Obviously New Zealanders are quite familiar with the orca as a sea predator. You're in San Francisco right now. Do you have a lot of fear matching up against the unicorns?
Hey, well, I think Finn Allen, when he played at this ground last year, the first game of the tournament, he got 150. So
Yeah.
I think he has fond memories. But Sife's been going unbelievably well. 100 in the first game, and then 70 or 40 balls.
Yeah.
So hopefully, long may that continue. And I guess the cricket has changed a lot since I've retired. The players are getting a lot more opportunities. There's a lot more tournaments happening, and I think it's beneficial for New Zealand cricket, but also the player as well.
Now, speaking of retirement, Peter Siddle is playing in this. Peter Siddle is 41 and a half years old. Do you look at him and go, maybe I hung up the boots a bit early?
Well, I mean, Faf du Plessis, he's only a few months younger than me, and he banged 100 against us to beat us in the first game. But no, I played against Siddle in a Masters tournament, and he'd just come straight from Big Bash bowling 141 and playing against us older guys. He was bowling to like 46, 48-year-olds. So 1 week playing in front of 50,000 at the G, and then playing in Goa in 38-degree heat and still bowling rockets. But I mean, he's looked after his body. Like as a batter, playing at 42 is still a great effort. But for Faf, but for a bowler to be doing that and still I think he went for like 8 runs and over yesterday. He's still going. He's still going good, and I'm sure he's probably we'll do an interview next year and he'll still be playing.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you think? I mean, he's like a vegan, and I don't know if he drinks, but
yeah, eats a lot of bananas, and
yeah,
that's where I've gone wrong.
What are you saying? The KFC and the red wine hasn't necessarily helped?
The red wine thins the blood.
Oh, that's true.
There's some. There's still some. This everything in moderation.
To be fair, you only ate KFC when you got 100, right? So I mean, wasn't that the rule?
Or a test win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you had quite a few of those, and 19 test hundreds. Staying on retirement, there's been a bit of talk lately with Kane retiring of the kind of the core of that real golden generation of New Zealand cricket is now gone. I guess what people are talking about is that World Test Championship winning side, with you and Trent Boult and Tim Southey and now Kane gone. Does it feel like a changing of the guard, do you think, when you watch New Zealand playing a test right now?
Yes and no. I guess everyone starts. You've got to come to an end at some stage, and obviously, fire here in San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, as I said, everything comes to an end at some stage, and Kane probably came a little bit earlier than we were expecting. But yeah, I mean, I think it was the 5-year anniversary of that that win. Like, it doesn't feel like 5 years ago, but no, I think I look at this team, and there's still a lot of the core players that were around there or in and around the team. Tom's still going, obviously captaining. There will be a change of the guard soon with a lot of the guys 34, 35, but they're still going good. And then, I guess the Nathan Smiths, KJ, O'Rourke and Ratchin, they'll put their own flavour into the team. But no, it was a great time to be playing cricket, and it's good to see that they're still carrying on and playing a good brand of cricket, but also enjoying themselves as well.
Yeah, I can't believe it's 5 years since that iconic moment. There's the amazing photo of you and Kane walking off together. There is a movement to try and turn that into a statue outside. There's talk of the Basin. I don't know why the Basin. Neither of you are Wellington players. If they were to make a statue, should it be at Seddon? Where should it be?
Hey, well, there's this thing you get messages all the time about you get tagged into different posts. Yeah. I was born in Lower Hutt. I think that's about as close. I mean, Basin, I'm presuming, it's the heart of our test. The New Zealand Cricket Museum's there and whatnot. I just have a bit of a chuckle. I mean, it is a great photo, and Kane doesn't show a lot of emotion, even when he scores an unbelievable 100. But that's about the most emotion you'll see, and something to be out there with Kane at that time, something I'll never forget, and nice to finally, I guess, call ourselves world champions.
So if they do make that statue, someone's definitely going to constantly come up and tape or glue on a tongue onto you, I reckon, all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Kane in his own right's been a fantastic player, and I think there's enough photos of out there that they could just make a statue of him by himself. Would
So
be
possibly
that one will probably have to be at the Bay Oval or something like that.
yeah, it's just such a great moment though, isn't it? Just two mates and colleagues becoming world champions in the most Kiwi way, just a little bit of a side hug, and we're not jumping around like no, like Americans might. Yeah, it's a
It
great
was
moment.
yeah. Well, people were like, why didn't you show some more emotion? But you don't really know. You don't really know how to react to. You just
No,
hit the hit the ball and then well
yep,
done.
well done. And also it was weird because there was hardly anyone in the ground because of COVID restrictions, right? So that would have
Yeah,
felt slightly
25.
surreal.
It's about 25% full, and we just walked across the other side of the ground, and that's where our hotel room was. So we didn't have to go far.
Um, I know you've got to go, so I appreciate your time. But overnight, in the third test, so we're recording this after day one of the third test against England. Did you get some eyes on this? Tom Latham and Devon Conway's mammoth opening stand. I mean, you've been a part of a few mammoth stands over your time. What's it like when you're out there in the middle and you're just piling on runs? It must be a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's not on TV here, but I was just watching it on Crick Info and following them. They were under a bit of pressure, those two. To be fair, had quiet starts to the tour, and it is a tough place to play, especially being an opener. But to go and get 300 opening stand and a 1-1 in the series, to be under pressure, and both to get 150. I mean, they're in a fantastic position, but it's definitely not an easy place to play. And 300 runs when you're batting it, you just in the moment you don't really you just keep play a ball at a time. But you still got to feel for Henry Nichols and Ratchin having to have pad rash. It's not a bad thing to be watching from afar. I mean, I don't know how many. We wouldn't have had many 300 run partnerships, let alone an opening partnership like that. And I think did they get a big partnership against West Indies or something?
Yeah,
So I mean
maybe.
they've been used to that for a while.
The one that springs to mind
And I
actually
see that
is
they've brought up.
the one that springs to mind actually is you and Kane in Perth. That was mammoth, wasn't it? When you got 290.
Oh, well, I think we didn't get 300 partnership that day either. I think we only got about 270 odd. So
Okay.
I mean, 300 odd on the day one of a test. I don't think it gets much better than that.
Do you think New Zealand's slightly pouncing on the turmoil within England, or do you reckon that the modern player's pretty good at putting that kind of stuff behind them in terms of England, like, and that they're not really thinking about it?
Yeah, I think there's going to be pressure on them. I mean, it was too well publicised. They can say, "Oh, we're just going to go out there and play." It's the subconscious. It's in there somewhere. And even like seen some articles where they've talked about Stokes and where he came out and he got a big roar when he bowled. That's only because of what's in the media and what's it's not from anything else. But New Zealand have obviously needed to start well, and they've done that. Now this England side are under pressure, and hopefully we can put on the pressure in that first morning. And really, anything over 450, 500 is going to be an amazing effort on, in the first innings of the match. And I think that's where this is England side. They're normally ahead of the game, where they're going to be under pressure straight away when they bat. Which hopefully, losing Henry and Kyle Jamieson, an experienced bowling lineup,
Yeah, true.
not a bad place to start. Having hopefully 400 or 500 runs on the board and can be able to put the England side under some pressure.
Yeah, and a first cap in England for your old Central Districts teammate Blair Tickner. He must be absolutely fizzing.
Yeah, very much so. I think he's toured away for years and sort of only come in but it's not a bad place to play cricket. It's going through a bit of a heat wave, so not only the openers grinding them away, giving the bowlers a bit of rest, and hopefully those English batsmen got some tired legs when they go out. Hopefully sometime late evening for a few overs and get them a couple down.
Roscoe, I know you've got to go. So what does the rest of your day look like today? A game day, isn't it?
Game day, yeah. So we play 3 games in 4 days. We've got, as you said, we've got the Unicorns today. I've got to go to Costco to get the guys some stuff.
Really?
I love Costco.
You're running snacks, are you?
Yeah, running snacks, but it's quite cold here, so I think a few of the boys have underclubbed. So Costco is where you go and get the thermals and hand warmers and things. So it's the locals don't like going to it, but no, Sife's going just to have a look around. He's like a tourist destination, Costco.
I'm starting to see this ambassador role is not quite as glamorous as it sounds.
There's a lot of different things in there.
Ross Taylor, thank you so much.
How many times have you been to Costco? That's it.
Oh, mate, I think we've only got one in New Zealand. I've only been once, but it blew my mind. Thank you so much for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your time in the States. I'm surprised you could get a hotel room with the World Cup going on, but it looks like you have. And they haven't put you.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of. I feel like I'm in Brisbane. I feel like I'm in Brisbane or Sydney here. There's so many Aussies as the Aussies play Paraguay tomorrow. So I appreciate it.
Good on you, mate. Thanks so much. Cheers.